you get a welcome reception where it's all veterans and all spouses and all other military personnel.
Thanks to Norwegian Cruise Line, we are on board Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. Fleet Week is a beautiful, beautiful week here in New York City. And we have some incredible men and women in uniform right here before us. And right behind me is a fighter jet. And right to my left is some kind of helicopter. I wish someone could identify all these incredible vehicles. Maybe David Herrera from Norwegian Cruise Line can help us out. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Elvis.
Hello,
hi, everybody.
David.
Good to see you, Gandhi. Hey, everybody.
I was having a conversation with someone earlier. It's great to do a morning show out of the studio that has some meaning, because, you know, this is a meaningful place, week, time, in the history and where we are located right now on board Intrepid is just incredible. And you, with your military background and appreciation for the military, this is a special day for you, too. So thanks for bringing us on board. Talk about it, David. Why are we here today?
You know, I think this is an exciting time. Welcome to all of our Navy personnel for Fleet Week. Great to see you guys in the audience.
Welcome to New York City.
Also got a couple of guys that I served with. John Mahoney, Jerome Meyer, guys that I served with. I was in the Army. Yeah. I enlisted right out of high school. I stayed in the reserves for a few years, and I was actually stationed here in New York. I served in the New York National Guard for several years. So this is coming home for me. It's an important and a very proud time right now. The idea that it's Fleet Week, it's right before Memorial Day, and I get a chance to talk about what Norwegian Cruise Line is doing with our military appreciation program. We wanted to make sure that it was clear where we stood and how we feel about the military and how we feel about the dedication and service and sacrifice that we know goes into it. Our program was designed by veterans for veterans. It includes not only a discount, which is great because every little bit helps, but when you get on board, we have specific amenities that are catered to military personnel. Some of us know what a challenge coin is. You get yourself a challenge coin, you get yourself some patches. But one of the things that I think is the most special that we do on board is when you're part of the military appreciation program at Norwegian Cruise Line and you go through the ID Me verification process. You can learn all about it on ncl.com/military. You get a welcome reception where it's all veterans and all spouses and all other military personnel, and I think that becomes the highlight for a lot of folks. You get on the ship, you're looking around, you're about to have a great time with your family, and you're going to meet a bunch of new folks, but one of the first things that you do is you join a military reception where you're surrounded by that culture, that military culture, that background, that backstory, where you have that shared experience of service, where not only do you care about the people that you serve directly with, but you understand that you're part of the military family. And for those of us at Norwegian, there's several of us who created the program just a few months ago, and it means something to us because we personalize it. We think about the men and the women that we served with before, and we're proud that we're able to do something. And I'm very proud that as an organization, we support our military the way that we do at Norwegian Cruise Line.
So, you know, David, I mean, of course, we're sitting on the Intrepid, which was commissioned 80 years ago this August. But there is a history there was wartime history with stories about how cruise lines, very, very incredible cruise lines like Norwegian, in the past actually retooled some of their ships to help out during military times, during wartime, and which and let's hope it never ever needs to happen. But having a racetrack and a water slide on board a Norwegian ship that is on loan for a few months, it could be kind of fun. But you know what? Sitting on board the Intrepid, you see it's a museum, but beyond that, it is a piece of history that we're sitting on. It's got to make you feel really cool to know that out of all the museums we have in New York City and the world, this one specifically addresses something that's so close to your heart. Have you spent time going inch by inch around the Intrepid?
Elvis,
It really is. It's incredible.
I was going to surprise you. Later, you and I are going to take off in this helicopter. and cruise up and down the Hudson. It's going to be
Amazing.
and you're
I
going
got
to
a
drive.
question.
It's going to be great.
Don't let him steer.
Who's flying?
Elvis is definitely driving. I'll navigate. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
you know
awesome.
me.
It's going to be great.
I always find a way to fly. But you know what? That's another reason why we love Norwegians, because it's more than just a beautiful ship that takes you to beautiful places. I mean, there's meaning. There's a story being told, and that's what sets Norwegian apart from everyone else. Any thoughts for our friend David?
I feel like I harass David off the air all the time.
Well, how
So I'm
Gandhi,
kinda good.
leave him alone. Stop picking on him.
No, we talk about great things. Like we were talking about, my boyfriend was in the Navy for a long time, and we were talking about that because he would love this. He would be all over this place looking at stuff. So
And my father, who served in the Army in both Europe and Japan, which is a kind of a wild thing. I wish he was alive. I wish he could come and see how beautifully they've preserved all these artifacts from sea, from the ocean, and of course of space and this and that. It's amazing. It's amazing. There's much more to the military than what you see and hear today. There is a huge, robust history going on that we need to study and never forget.
100%. And given that Memorial Day is just around the corner, obviously Memorial Day is a fantastic opportunity to take some time off of work, have a barbecue, get together with family and friends. But for those of us who serve, Memorial Day has a different meaning as well. It has a special meaning, gives us an opportunity to remember many of our friends and brothers and sisters in arms who have sacrificed so much, including their families. Many of the families who, when you join the military, your family joins the military. And that's something that we understand at Norwegian Cruise Line. That's why we make the cruise not just about the military personnel, but about the family. Have that experience together so that we can all appreciate the time that we get to spend together.
And everyone in New York City listening to the sounds of this show, if you have a business that's open and you see someone in uniform walking by this week, open your door and find a way to get them to come in and enjoy whatever it is you have to offer, because we love having you here in New York. You really add a new layer of great fun and history and reverence. And, just to know that you're here to have a good time and go crazy, whatever you need to do, please do. Because if you want to go crazy, New York's a great place to be insane.
yep.
I speak from experience.
Your company.
There you go. David, thank you so much for being on with us. Did you want to, can we talk about the Coca-Cola? We've been asked not to talk about this.
Well, the Coca-Cola...
But I know you're going to say it anyway.
The
Wow.
Coca-Cola 600. It's a race coming up this weekend, and we've been working closely with our friends at Coca-Cola and our new friends at NASCAR, and we're very excited to participate in it. And we might have some announcements a little bit later. We might have something interesting to share, but we're excited about it, and we think it's going to be a great time, great way to spend Memorial Day.
Excellent. So in other words, he's not saying anything.
Thank you. That was 100% right.
But we know something will be said eventually. David Herrera, it's always great to see you. Norwegian Cruise Line, of course, because of Norwegian, we are here today at the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum for Fleet Week. Memorial Day weekend, as you said, is more than just barbecues and hanging out with your family. Everyone, men, women, who gave their ultimate sacrifice for our country and, in my opinion, for the world, we thank you. And we're thinking of you this weekend. David, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Elvis. Thank you, guys.